Hello there, my name is Mr. OMG. If x is a positive integer such that x minus 1 and that less than 0, how many values can x take? Look at this. This is the product of a number where less than 0. Less than 0 means negative, okay, yeah? Look at this. How many terms of this? Let's say this is f, okay, yeah? How many terms product x minus 1 times x minus 3, x minus 3? Okay, look at this, eh? This is all odd number here. And the odd number has formula 2n minus 1. And 2n minus 1 equals 93. So it's when we solve that, there is a 47 terms here. Look at this. There is a 47 multiplication here. Yeah. And let's try one by one. If x is positive integer, let's try x equals to 1. If x equals to 1, that will be 0. So every odd number between 1 until 93, that will make result 0. So that will not be the answers. Well, if we take even number where x equals to 2, the number will be positive 1, positive, negative, 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 negative. This will make a positive answers, okay, yeah? Well, if x equals to 4, an even number, yeah, because all odd number will make 0, yeah, that will be make negative 45 negative number that makes negative answers, okay, yeah. So basically, to make this less than 0 negative, yeah, that must be x must be all multiple of 4, which is 4, 8, 12 until 92, yeah. So how many values is this, okay? So multiple of 4, that is 4a equals 92, that will be 23. Also, there will be 23 values of x, and 23 values of x, that's the answers. Is x cubed greater than x squared? Okay, we have two statements here, which is statement 1 and statement 2. Statement 1, they said x greater than 0. Let's see if x equals to 2, we choose, okay, yeah. We get 8 greater than 4 if we substitute, and the answer is yes, it's greater. Well, if we choose x equals to half, they'll make 1 over 8 greater than 1 over 4, and the answer is obviously no. Okay, yeah. So it's not sufficient because they have two answers. Well, if we use statement 2, we multiply both of them with x squared, we get x cubed less than x squared, and the answer is x cubed greater than x squared. The answer is no, and that's sufficient because they give one answer, which is B, only statement 2. Yeah. If m and n are non-integers, is m to the power of n greater than n to the power of n? We have two statements here, which is statement 1, absolute m is equals to n, while statement 2, m less than n. So here's we use statement 1, which is absolute m equals to n. That means we can choose absolute negative 3 and 3, and absolute 3 equals to 3. Let's give example, okay. Example, m equals to 3, negative 3, and n equals to 3, okay, yeah. So from here we get m to the power of n is minus 27, and n to the power of n is obviously 27, and this is less than. So is m to the power of n greater than n to the power of n? The answer is no, okay, yeah, because it's supposed to be less than, not greater than. While we have the second scenario, okay, yeah, which is m equals to 3, n equals 3, and that's give 27 equals 27. And is it equal, is it greater than? No, okay, yeah. So whatever the scenario, it's either there will answer will be less than or equals, and the answer always no, not greater than, okay, yeah. So we can say that statement 1 is sufficient because they give one answer, which is no, okay, yeah. Well, while then statement 2, okay, yeah. So since statement 1 is correct, so the answer is either A or D, okay, yeah? A or D. Statement 2, let's statement 2 say that m less than n. So we have few scenario which is m equals to minus 3, n equals 3, the same like statement 1, the answer will be no, okay, yeah? While we have a scenario where m equals to minus 3 and n equals to 2, and that will give us 9 greater than 4, and the answer is it greater? Yes. So it's either no or yes. So statement 2 is not sufficient because they give answer no or yes. Statement 2 is not sufficient. So the answer is only A because only statement 1 is sufficient, and that's the answer. If two distinct integers A and B are picked from 1 until 100 and multiplied, what is the probability that the resulting number has exactly 3 factors? Okay, the objective here is to find the probability. That means we need to know how many total at first. Yeah, okay? How many total if we took two distinct? Okay, the first number, there will be 100 choices, while the second number will be have 99 choices because it's distinct, different. Okay, yeah? So in total, there will be 9,900, and that will be the over 9,900. Okay, yeah, that's the probability. Yeah, and then after that, we need to know what is the probability that we get exactly 3 factors. Exactly 3 factors. Okay, yeah. Let's look at example. What is the meaning of exactly 3 factors? 6 have factors 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, which is 4 factors. 9 1 3 9, which is have 3 factors. This is what we want. Okay, yeah. 16 have 1 2 4 8 16 3 5 factors. Okay, yeah. Most of factors, it have even factors. However, only square numbers that have odd factors, which is 3 5 7 or something. Okay, yeah. To make it exactly 2 factors, we can say that's only square of a prime number. Okay, yeah? The square of prime number, which is 2 3 5 7, and if we square them, we get 4 9 25 49. So this is the result that we want to get exactly 3 factors. And to get 4, the only way is only from 1 4 and 4 1. To get 9, it's only 1 9 9 1, and so on. Basically, there's only 8 choices when we get 3 factors. So 8 over 9,900, and this is answers. What is the remainder when the positive integer x is divided by 6? Statement 1, when x is divided by 7, the remainder is 5. From statement 1, we cannot find what is the x, value of x. The x will be 12. And the other is 19, 26, 33, and so on. Okay, yeah. What is the remainder when divided by 6? The remainder here is 0, 3, 1, 2, 3. All the remainder is different, so I can say this is not sufficient. Okay, yeah, because all the remainder not give one answers. Okay, yeah, not sufficient. So we can say that A and D is wrong. Okay, yeah. Well, let's find statement 2. Statement 2 said when x is divided by 9, yeah, the remainder is 3. So the value of x will be 12, it could be 21, 30, and so on. Yeah. And when divided by 6, the remainder will be 0, 3, 0, 3, and so on. Yeah. And this gives two answers, 0 and 3, but that's not sufficient because doesn't give one answers. Okay, yeah. Well, so we can say that B is wrong because statement 2 is wrong. Okay, now let's combine 1 and 2 together. Statement 1 and statement 2. When x is divided by 7, remaining 5, and when x divided by 9 is 3. Okay, so the first number we can say is 12. Okay, yeah. 12, and the remainder is 0. Okay, yeah. What is the next number? Okay, let's remember that the lowest common multiple of 7 and 9 is 63. So the next number is 12 plus 63, 75. And the next number plus 63 again. While 75, the remainder is 3. Look at this. This already have two answers. So we don't need to find the next ones. So we can say this is not sufficient because this give two answers. Okay, yeah. So C also wrong because they combine. Okay. So we can say since all of them not sufficient, all the statement not sufficient, so the answer is E, and that's the answers. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment because your comment will be featured in the YouTube shorts. Thank you.